Hello everybody, welcome to Monday Market Must Knows. My name is Merlin Rothfeld, and here are 3 important things to pay attention to for the upcoming trading week. Now, first and foremost, you probably know there's a bit of a regime change going on in Washington, D.C. A new president coming in. We have President-elect Biden will be inaugurated on the 20th of January. Now, this event alone creates a lot of uncertainty under normal conditions. But given the events that happened last week, there's a lot more uncertainty with this presidential inauguration. People are not really sure if it's going to be nice and calm or if it's going to be violent and a little bit of an uprising going on. For that reason, that may create uncertainty in the financial markets. As we all know, markets hate uncertainty. So as a precautionary note, I'll tell you what I'm personally doing. I'm going to be liquidating and going a bit flat on my positions so I'm not carrying on undue risk going into those announcements. I can always buy back in, but just playing it a little bit on the safe side given what happened last week. Now, on the second thing here, we have 3 announcements really wrapped up into one, and that is central banks around the world. As you've all heard from these shows and from Classes Online Trading Academy, central banks are the banks that are dictating what the interest rates may be. And those interest rates have significant impacts on those economies and the currency valuation. First one we're going to look at is Canada, our neighbors to the north. Canada is expected to keep their rates exactly where they're at, which is 25 basis points. That announcement happens on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then you have Japan, which is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday. It may come out on Wednesday, it may not. They could change that, but right now it's slated for Wednesday. They're expected to stay at negative 0.1%. European Central Bank is the final one reporting. That will be on Thursday at 7:45 Eastern Standard Time, and they're expected to stay at 0. No expectation of them changing the rates at this moment in time. But why is this important? Why are we bringing this up as a Monday Market Must Know? Well, the dollar is the greenback. It's the one that runs the global markets, right? The dollar is probably the most powerful currency, the reserve currency of the world. And it's been doing nothing but tanking for about the past year, down to the tune of about 15% slide. A weak dollar helps the U.S. economy because it makes our exports very cheap. Anybody who's doing business internationally should see an uptick in their business. What does that mean for the other countries whose dollars are getting stronger or whose currencies are getting stronger, like Canada, like Japan, and like the European Union and the euro? Their currencies are going up, which means it's becoming a drain on their economy. It's hard for them to export as much because their currency is much higher valued. They want to soften or weaken their currency. To do that, they may start to change their stance on interest rates and do something to push their currencies down. That's why it's important to watch those announcements this week. And finally, we have earnings season was kicked into effect last week with JP Morgan reporting phenomenal earnings on Friday as well as some other banks. It gets even better this week. Here are some of the notable names for you. First, we've got Logitech. Now, of course, most of us have been quarantined at home. Many of you starting your own YouTube channels and becoming internet celebrities. Well, you need a webcam for that. Logitech's got mouse, keyboards, and cameras to serve all your needs. Their earnings come out on Monday. We'll see how those ones come out. Tuesday brings us some more banks and financials. You've got Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Zion Bankshares, J.B. Hunt Transportation, Halliburton, and probably the most volatile one of the week will be Netflix, which for the past 6 months has gone almost perfectly sideways. Now, I've highlighted in green all those companies that are in the financial space, piggybacking off of last Friday's announcements from JP Morgan and Wells Fargo and Citibank. All right, moving on to Wednesday, we have U.S. Bankshares, Bank of New York Mellon, Morgan Stanley, United Healthcare, Procter & Gamble, Kinder Morgan, and Alcoa reporting earnings. Thursday brings you Charles Schwab, Travelers Insurance, International Business Machines, or IBM, Intuitive Surgical, and UNP, that's Union Pacific. Now, Friday normally gets a little bit light, but this week, not so much. We've got Ally Financial, Huntington Bankshares, and Schlumberger reporting earnings on Friday. And these are just some of the major names. There's a lot more than that. As you saw, there's 114 companies reporting. In the next coming weeks, we could see 600, 700, 800 companies reporting per week. So it'll be a busy week for earnings season this week, and it gets even better going forward. That, my friends, is your Monday Market Must Knows. We'll see you next week.